As part of this topic, I'll be demonstrating how to install an IDE called as SQL Workbench. SQL Workbench is one of the most popular IDEs to connect to different relational databases and run database operations on top of the databases. It is being used by almost all the IT professionals, be it data engineers, application developers, software developers, testers, business analysts, so on and so forth. Let us go through the steps that are involved to set up SQL Workbench on Windows. First, go to the browser, search for SQL Workbench, click on this downloads link, scroll down, click on this generic packages for all systems including all optional libraries. It will actually download a zip file. Once the zip file is downloaded, we can actually go to File Explorer and then go to Downloads. Then right click on this, say Extract All under my home directory, which is nothing but this one, C users D Gadiraju. There is a folder called as Documents. Under the Documents, I want to create a folder called as SQL Workbench and copy all the files related to SQL Workbench into this folder. Now I can say extract. Everything will be extracted to that folder. Once the extraction is done, it will take us to that folder. As my system is a 64-bit system, I have to use the 64-bit application. If I maximize this, you can see there are two SQL Workbench applications. One is SQL Workbench 64 and the other one is SQL Workbench. That's it. There is no bit associated with it. If your Windows is 32-bit Windows, then you have to use this one. As mine is 64-bit, I have to use this one. To confirm whether yours is 32-bit or 64-bit, you can right click on this PC, click on Properties. As part of this pop-up, you can actually see the system type to understand whether it is 64-bit operating system or 32-bit operating system. As mine is 64-bit, I just have to double click on this. However, to run SQL Workbench, we need to have Java 8 installed. So let's understand how to install Java 8. If you already have Java 8, you don't need to worry too much. It will automatically open. But in this case, as nothing is there with respect to Java, it started complaining about this. Now I can click on OK. Go to the browser, search for Java 8. Go to this Java 8 Central Oracle. It will redirect you to the Oracle website because Java is owned by Oracle. Then you can actually click on downloads. As part of this downloads, you will actually see Java SE 14 at the top and then Java SE 11. However, we are interested in Java 8, not on Java 11 or Java 14. And hence we have to go to Java SE 8U251. Then we can actually click on this GRE download. We have to download GRE, not JDK. Now you can scroll down here. Again, our operating system is nothing but Windows 64-bit, and hence we should use either this .exe file or .tar.gz file. In my case, I'm going to use the .exe file. Now I can actually consent by clicking on this and then say download GRE 8U251 for Windows 64-bit. It will start downloading the exe file once we enter the username and password of the Oracle account. You might have to have Oracle account to actually download. My Oracle account is nothing but this one. I also need to enter the password here. Once the right password is entered, if you have valid account in Oracle, the exe file will be downloaded. If you don't have, you just have to click on create account and complete the account creation process. Then you should be able to download it without any issue. Now it is downloaded. I can expand this, go to the folder by clicking on show in folder. There are two of them. Let me delete one of them. Let me double click on this to actually install GRE on this machine. Now it is being installed. Once the installation is done, we should be able to validate by going to PowerShell and by running command called as java-version, or even we can actually start the SQL Workbench and it will be started this time. Let's wait until GRE is installed. It will take a bit of time. Once the installation is done, we should be able to validate. If you recollect, when I actually go through the downloads page, which is nothing but this one, I have chosen GRE, not JDK. And for SQL Workbench, it is enough to download GRE we don't need to download JDK. If you are developing Java-based applications, probably you might have to have JDK for other purposes. Otherwise, for tools like SQL Workbench, JRE is good enough. So this is the one which I have clicked on to go to the next page, and as part of this page I have gone to the Windows 64-bit and I started downloading this exe file, and then I started installing using that one. Let's wait until installation is done, then we'll actually go to the further steps. Now the installation is done, we can click on close. Before launching SQL Workbench, we can also launch PowerShell. As part of the PowerShell, we should be able to run this command called as java -version. We can see that it is written 1.8.0_251, which means Java 8 is installed on this machine. We only have the Java runtime environment. We don't have the JDK. JDK stands for Java Development Kit. But JRE is good enough for SQL Workbench to work. Now I can go here and I should be able to double click on this. And this time SQL Workbench is launched without any issue. As SQL Workbench is launched successfully, that means we have set up SQL Workbench on this machine. However, we haven't connected to any database yet. There are few steps that are involved to connect to a database. We might have to download a connector and configure it with the SQL Workbench to connect to a particular database. I will actually demonstrate how to connect to whatever database we want to connect to as part of the subsequent topics whenever I talk about those specific databases. When it comes to setting up SQL Workbench, there are two major steps involved. One is downloading and extracting SQL Workbench in the preferred location. And second one is to ensure that JRE is set up on the machine. Unless and until you have JRE and also you have SQL Workbench extracted to the preferred location and you use the 64-bit application, you will not be able to use SQL Workbench on your Windows machine. Now, as the SQL Workbench is available, we should be able to configure to connect to any RDBMS database and perform database operations based on the permissions you have on the underlying databases against which you are trying to use the SQL Workbench. You will understand more about these details as we proceed further in the subsequent topics wherever it is relevant.